Coming up, we're headed back to Grayskull. Join us as we discuss Amazon MGM's new feature, Masters of the Universe. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. Before we get started, do not forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe down below and hit that bell. That way you know when these videos drop. Tex, how are you doing today, buddy?
Oh man, howdy everybody, howdy Arturo. We've got a lot to talk about today with Masters of the Universe. The first teaser trailer officially hit, and with it, we're getting it this June. So it was actually like, even though it's a teaser, it is pretty much like a full enough look at what to expect from this thing. It's not like when you got to see one shot of He-Man in action. Like we actually got it. Like we got full look at He-Man. We got a full look at Skeletor, full look at Grayskull. A lot of surprising first looks in this
Yep.
thing. And the first thing we have to talk about is the fact that it's happening at all. Like they've been trying to do like a new He-Man movie for years at this point. Like there have been reports about like them trying to make it happen for I think basically since like the classic one happened, you know what I mean? Like since like the Dolph Lundgren one came out, and they've been trying to do it again ever since, but it just never quite clicked. But now that it's coming, I part of it is like, oh, I see why it took so long to get here, because it's like,
Yes.
oh, it's a He-Man movie, and it's
Hmm.
like there it's different because it's like you see other cartoon turn movies and you're like, all right, but then like He-Man is like, it's so
It's
fantastical
He-Man,
as
right?
like,
Yes.
yeah,
It's
as an
He-Man.
idea, right? Yeah, like it's so fantastical, it's so like it's so odd looking, like it's so like there's just so much that goes into it that's like it like purely cartoon, that
Yes.
like to bring it to life, it's like, oh, okay, this is why it took them, like this is why it was such a hard thing to do for such a long time, because it's like,
Yes.
oh, you're you can't do what's the goblin's name again? Gwildor, I think, from the first one,
Yeah,
right? Like
Gwildor, but Gwildor is not even like a real
yeah,
Masters of
he's
the Universe character, like from
no.
the toys or TV show. He was made up specifically for the '87 Masters of the Universe, which is, by the way, I rewatched a couple days ago. Still holds up as an
Yeah,
awesome, fun movie. But that said, just to confirm what Tex was just saying, yes, everything in He-Man is just so crazy in scope and epicness in terms of being fantastical that it
yeah,
is quite impossible to put this on the big screen without it being a total, CG blockbuster costing over 150 or something like that. This is why we've seen iterations of He-Man in the past only in animated form, several iterations of cartoons, different kinds of eras of He-Man, young, older,
right.
but they still can never really click with the audiences because eventually all those cartoons only last about a season or two and they get canceled.
Right.
But this is the first time this movie has made a successful leap to the theater since '87. And as Tex was saying, it is quite difficult because, as you guys have seen in this teaser trailer that popped up, all the different aspects and elements of this that are just so out there, so colorful, so eye popping. The visuals are so cartoony and over the top that it is. Remember, folks, it's based off a toy line, right? It's
Yeah,
based off a
yeah,
toy line,
and
just like Transformers was.
yeah,
And the only way this made it into our eyeballs was via a cartoon that made all this possible. So
yeah,
the fact that we're here talking about MGM and Amazon finally bringing this to theaters this June is quite the epic feat, man.
yeah.
Wild.
Like, and like that's kind of my issue with like the teaser, because it is a lot of like, it's tough because it's like, oh, okay, there's clearly a budget, but there's also not enough of a budget,
Mm,
because it's like it's very green screeny, and I know that's not like a big deal in like modern era. You know, you have like Marvel movies that are all green screen now. Like even Stranger Things in the
Yeah.
final season was like all green screen and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it is sort of when it's like it's kind of there are some scenes in the trailer that look super good when it comes to like the how well they recreated these costumes and
Yeah.
Castle Grayskull, all that stuff. The sword itself looks great. He-Man, for however little we see him in this, like he looks great. And but there's so much else. It's like big blobs and big kind of gray kind of nonsense, big empty spaces, and like, you know, you there's a lot of Thor Ragnarok in there where it's oh, the lineup of the heroes like heading into like a big city kind of green screen thing. And it's tough because it's like on top of that, there are like super cartoonish moments in this that look super cool because it's like the director who did this, Travis Knight, he last did Bumblebee that we've seen. And
Mm.
like if you remember Bumblebee, Bumblebee was good.
Yeah, it was.
Remember those first like 5 minutes where it was basically just like a new version of the cartoon. And that's, you know, that was like the best Transformers has ever looked ever on a movie screen,
Mhm.
like even including Transformers 1. So it's like you see this and you're like, oh, okay, he's faithfully recreated all that cartoonish stuff. But then you look at the rest of the package and it's like, oh, you know, it's kind of messy here. So my hope is that, you know, it's kind of like to compare it to that 87 one again. Like it's kind of like that one where it's like I hope that like, you know, faithful or not, like I'm not a big He-Man fan. I don't know if you are, Arturo. I don't really think so,
I
right?
mean,
Like,
who is, right?
yeah, because
I
it
personally
was
don't know any big He-Man fans. In terms of being a fan, I am a fan of the property. As a kid, I had the toys, I had Grayskull,
yeah,
I
and
had
that's
all
what it was
kinds of
for,
He-Man
right?
toys.
Like you
But yeah, again, the toy property, right? So of
yeah,
course it would be attractive to us kids back in the 80s and early 90s because of all the cool accessories. Everyone had armor, everything
yeah,
was very accessorized
yeah, and
back in the day.
that's the fun of the 87 one where it's like, yeah, it's not like super faithful, but they made it just like a fun movie for like kids, right? And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
and I'm hoping that this one kind of also has that same amount of fun. You know, like it's got some real world stuff, which makes sense. Where it's like, oh, okay, you know, He-Man went to the real world for a
Yeah,
bit before.
supposedly, like, he was hidden in the real world by his mom as a kid to,
Yeah,
like, hide him away from the evils of Skeletor and,
right.
all that evil stuff from Grayskull. But, like, I am a little concerned, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like you said, Tex, this teaser, it's like it's giving us the hits, right? It's like, here you go,
yeah.
guys. This is what you guys kind of wanted to see, right? A very faithful
Yes,
adaptation of this. We're not giving you that, early Sonic design where everyone's all
yeah,
jacked up looking.
yes.
So I
That's
think
exactly it.
they
Yeah,
threw this out there honestly a little earlier than I expected. I didn't expect to see a Masters of the Universe teaser at all anytime soon. I thought if anything we'd be getting it next month during the big game. But
or if like for as much as we see in it, right? Like
yeah.
for example, like we see Skeletor like full
Mhm.
on like and you know, in a lesser teaser, this would have been like, oh, okay, we would have saw maybe a glimpse of him at the end, right? But
Yeah.
even here, we get like the full skeleton face, we get
Yeah.
full look of like Skeletor himself, and he's blue skin and all that, and even like a fight that happens, like that's probably happening at like towards the end of the movie, and you're like, oh, this is rad. But also, like Arturo said, where it's like, yes, this is faithful, this is for those He-Man fans, but like, you know, how old are
This
they
is
now?
rad, but
You
it
know,
looks great in that, like, half a second on your screen in a trailer. How is this
yes.
gonna hold up for 90 plus minutes in a movie theater? Or is it gonna
Yeah,
be too much? You know how fans, when Marvel came out with X-Men at first in 2000 with, Bryan Singer, everyone was black and the black leather and stuff,
right.
and fans were like, "Oh, we need to see the color suits," and then we kinda started getting that a little bit, in the Marvel universe, and it was successful. At times, we've gotten that a little bit too faithfully, and it has not been successful. Will that be the case here, where we get in a super uber, like to the T detail of
Right.
every character from the toy line? But how is that going to translate on the screen? In teaser form, it gets me a little hyped because I never expected them to actually have the blue skin Skeletor on there. Because it's like,
Yeah,
what? Because I'm
and
used to seeing the
yes,
Frank Langella one from '87, where he has this kind of gothic looking robe, but the face makeup or this mask that he's wearing is so well done that you don't really question the facial features. It looks really well done. So I'm just kind of concerned as to how much this version of Skeletor, which is oddly enough, like Jared Leto under all
yeah,
that makeup.
that's the
I don't know
weirdest part,
how
right?
that's gonna like. Are we gonna
So
know at some point that's Leto, right?
so that's what I was gonna bring up too, right? Like you know, it's funny that we see so much of Skeletor and all that he looks good, but it's like before he speaks, right? And
Yes.
this is like this, we
Is
don't
it gonna
get
be like
like a
ma ma
skeleton.
ma 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 ma?
Yeah, like what is he doing? Is he gonna do the
Yeah.
like is he doing the Skeletor voice like in Robot Chicken where
Oh.
I that's probably where I remember Skeletor the most is just
Oh my
like
god. I'm
all
gonna
those Robot
expect to
Chicken
hear that.
sketches.
The minute
Yeah,
he opens his voice on screen, I'm gonna expect to hear that high-pitched, kind of whiny voice, and
yeah,
I'm gonna be
we're
disappointed if it's not it.
we're expecting to hear the yeah, He Man, yeah, like we're expecting that, right? And it's
Oh my
like
god, yes.
and it's funny because yes, all those we've
Ugh.
heard all these jokes and stuff like since that original series, but that's also what Skeletor sounded like. It's not like is this going to be just a Jared Leto? Is this why he's not speaking yet? Like, is this why there's no Skeletor line in the teaser? You'd think there'd be like I'm gonna get you, He-Man, or whatever he's gonna say, right?
I'm
Like
gonna get you,
there's
sucker.
nothing. Yeah,
Pull
like
that Booker T line out of nowhere.
there's no
Honestly, though,
just
Tex, it's gonna be very tough to say. I think they might be hiding that stuff until like
right.
maybe like the bitter end. But like Jared Leto, let's go back to Jared Leto real quick. Jared Leto
Right.
under all that Skeletor armor. Honestly, I rather not see his face.
Yeah.
Last time I saw his face, I was very disappointed. I don't know what Disney was thinking, uh, but you folks out there finally have a little opportunity to have a little chat with us about Tron Ares. Tex was able to actually watch it. I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
it in theaters, and because I was like, you know what, I gotta go see this. Yes, it's Jared Leto, but visually looks cool, right?
Yeah.
So here I am going to the theater, trying to be like, all right, trying to pump myself up. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, man. And what happens, Tex? What happens, Tex? After what,
Right.
2 hours?
Right.
It's complete disappointment.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because of one person, Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And
Man.
him being Skeletor here, I I have my concerns. Because Leto isn't one to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do an Amazon movie. There's something behind there. So his team must have been like, hey, you are in the red right now. You have to
No,
break even at
that's
some point.
that's the thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna do Skeletor. That's not even like a thing that's above him anymore.
It's
Like,
not.
yes, he might be like an Academy Award nominated person. Like, did he win for Dallas Buyers Club? He might have won. So there you go. I
He
might
did
just
win
be
for
like,
Yeah, he did win for Dallas Buyers Club.
so yeah,
Mhm.
he might be a winner, but like even then, like all of us to this day are still like, yo, 30 Seconds to Mars, you had that one song, and that's where you should have stayed, right? Because we were like, yo, that was a good song.
Break me
Yeah,
down.
bury me. Yeah, like
Bury
it
him
was
indeed, Tex. Do it. Bury him.
and like no, like that's where he should have stayed because ever since Dallas Buyers Club was like the lightning in the bottle. We were like, oh, maybe he's talented, but no, it was just now seeing everything else. It's like it was just circumstances all lined up for that, right? Because it's like you've had other appearances. That's like, was he in Fight Club? He was in Fight
He
Club,
was in
right?
Fight Club. He got his
Yeah,
ass
yeah,
beat in Fight Club. He
yeah.
remember when
Like,
he wanted to, beat up something beautiful or destroy something
yeah,
beautiful, I think was the line.
like I don't know what it is about this current era of him. I don't know if it's
He's trying to find a
because,
character, Tex. He's trying
yeah,
to find
like
a character to kind of piggyback on and be like, you know what? At least I had this character to take to the cons with me everywhere when I retire,
yeah,
right?
and
Because
it's
he tried his best as Joker in Suicide Squad, and then from there he morbed up, or he thought he morbed up,
right,
right, for Morbius, And since Morbius, that was back in 2022, he's been kind of quiet. He's been feeding off the memes, right? That's all he's been listening to for the last several years is of these Morbius memes. And now he did Tron. And it's like, all right, you can tell that his management was trying to steer him towards some kind of franchise, some kind of character that will have some huge bankability down the line where he can come back in the sequel and do another and do another. But Jared Leto is not a bankable actor like that. He's not this
No,
action
he's
star,
not.
man.
Yeah.
He's not. He really isn't. And Tron Ares, for all its bright lights and bells and whistles, it's very much just that. It's just all surface. There's no substance there. It's all looks. Leto doesn't add anything to that movie
Yeah,
whatsoever.
he just he's just not into it. It's
Yeah,
what we've said. I think you know what? It's the same criticism we lobbed at what's
Peter
his name in
Dinklage.
top. Yes, that's
Mhm.
exactly it. And Peter Dinklage, like it was just like, yo, like you're just not into it, and we can tell. Like, and it's not that Tron Ares had like bad material that he wasn't able to elevate. It's more like this bad material plus a bad actor. Like it was just like it was foul. It's foul from the bottom
A
down. Like
bad combo.
yeah, it's foul from the bottom down. It really is. Like and Disney Plus, I finally saw Tron Ares just to wrap up this little stay away from it mini review kind of thing. Like it's totally like a yeah, you're not missing anything by not, seeing Tron Ares. You're really not. It's just total stay away from it. And it's because Leto does not elevate material. He just really doesn't. He's not it. Like, and so his going back to Skeletor, it's exactly it, Arturo. It's like,
Mhm.
what Leto are we getting here? Are we?
Yes.
Is it? I hope it's the kind of Leto that like maybe he had like a different performer in the Skeletor outfit, and he just kind of provided a voice.
You think
Maybe it's like
so?
a. I mean,
It'd be
if
like
we're
what if
lucky,
like a sweet tooth situation
yeah.
with Samoa Joe, right?
Yeah, like how they do it in Twisted Metal. Yeah, where they voice him by Will Arnett and he's just like in a sound booth. Like so maybe we're lucky enough that like maybe they do that for Jared Leto. Maybe they add like some effect to his voice or something like
Unless
that to like
unless you get like a Skeletor flashback origin to before he was all
right
Skeletor.
before yeah, because it's the Jared Leto contract, right? Where it's
Yes.
like,
You
yes,
have to
like
show
if
that
he's in
face
it,
at least once,
yeah,
right?
yes, like
They gotta know it's
it'll
him.
it'll show how he got the like how he became a skeleton man, but it's also like something we don't need, right? Like because this was a cartoon where a superhuman guy
Dude,
who
not
was
once have I
already
ever thought, how did Skeletor become Skeletor? It's like, no, it's
he,
Skeletor, bro. It's
yeah
like when you watch
he
Thundercats and you think about Mumra. I was like, nah, dude,
yeah
he's a Muppet. He's Mumra.
he's just an evil skeleton wizard who fights like a dude who was already muscular enough, right? But then
An
grabbing the
evil
sword.
skeleton wizard.
Yes, like, and when he like facing a dude who's already muscular under like super tight clothes, and then like his sword just like rips the clothes off, and he's the same build, but like now he's powered up with magic, right? And
Yeah,
his
that's that too, Tex. I know you mentioned earlier that the look was okay. I
right.
I have my concerns about the look. I definitely thought he'd be a little bigger in terms of like
I mean,
muscles
that's the
and
thing. Like
musculature, right?
how that's the thing, like that's one thing coming from cartoons to it's like you have a cartoon in the 70s like of a person who is just unbelievably huge, right? And it's like there's no
Yes.
way this that's why he's He-Man. It's
He's
like
He-Man.
he's man basically, like he's just man, and it's like his power is being a man and it's like it's so stupid, but then like when you do it live action, like even Dolph Lundgren was the biggest guy they could get to agree to that
Yes.
at the time, and
Yes.
he was still like still shrimpy compared to like He-Man, right? Like
Yeah, because
it,
he was no like because when I think of He-Man, I think of Conan the Barbarian kind of build,
yes,
right?
yes, you're thinking like super bulk, right?
Yes, like shoulders like the size of boulders and stuff like that. And then
Yes,
the fact that Prince Adam goes from this skinny prince in the comic books to, I have the power, and then turning
right.
into like Arnold Schwarzenegger, as Conan. Like that was always my relation to He-Man. I'm like, oh, that has to be Arnold. That has to be Arnold. I was a little kid. I'm like, even the hair was very
Yeah,
Conan-esque,
he
right?
was that's the ticket, right? It really was just Conan. And
Yeah.
it's like it's a guy turning into Conan, but then he's, yeah, he's fighting an evil wizard. It's straight up Conan. And I think you're right, Arturo, where these the look for He-Man himself is going to be tough to get because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you need him to be not huge as a human, right? Like you need him to be like kind of monstrously huge because that's He-Man. Like
Yeah.
he really needs and it sucks to say, right? Because you're like, oh, we're complaining about his body after all this. But no, like
But
if you're
it's
doing
He-Man.
yeah, if you're doing the literal action figure, right? Like He-Man is literally like the first toy you think of when it comes to toy-based cartoons, right? Because it's like
Yes.
that's what it was made for. Like Arturo said, this was made to sell toys. So you literally they were designed like action figures. They were designed like fridges. Like they were dudes who look like freezers and fridges, right?
Dude, they
Because they're
would
just
be able to stand on their own because their base was so bottom heavy, you know? They were so heavy, dude. They weren't going anywhere.
yes.
You could just stand them on top there and just shoot little plastic missiles at them, never going down.
Yeah, because they were it's massive thighs and massive chests and
Yes.
massive arms. It was just because it's the man, right?
It's
It's like
the He-Man.
it's the He-Man, and you're when you're you little kid playing with these toys, you're like, yeah, this is it. And so any live action version who doesn't look like a straight up action figure, it's sort of like he would kind of need like a John Cena build, but not like John Cena now. It would have to be like peak John Cena build. And even
Yes.
then, it's like,
Yes.
is that big enough? No.
And even then, yeah, even then he looks a little too stocky, you know?
Yeah. Yes,
I'm
that's the
telling you,
thing, right?
I'm telling you, like Arnold Schwarzenegger at his prime. That's He-Man.
That's literally it. So kudos to this guy because he looks good. That's the thing. It's like he does look like he has the build. We'll just have to see whether or not, yeah, because that's the thing. Like if he's a good actor, he has a good personality, and it's a fun story, it's a fun movie. We the visuals are going to be the last thing we kind of talk
Mhm.
about, right? Like
Yeah,
if you break
agreed.
down if you jump to us reviewing this in a couple of months and we're like, oh yeah, it was a fun movie, fun action, fun all that, then we'd be like, it sucks that the visuals weren't there all the way, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you have to
great
knock
point.
off points, but you'd be like, oh well, he didn't really look totally like He-Man, but we're hoping at the end of the day that yeah, this guy pulls through, and maybe Jared Leto doesn't have any lines, but it's Skeletor. Skeletor has lines, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, you got Jared Leto as Skeletor and Allison Brie as Evelyn. You got Idris Alba as Man at Arms. Like you
Wild
got a crazy
cast.
cast, dude.
Yeah,
Crazy
it's a
cast.
wild.
So it
Yeah,
has to
wild cast.
have this is like what we were saying in our previous show. The Rip. If you guys went go to our archives and check that one out, that's that Matt Damon
Right.
Ben Affleck movie on Netflix. That the Rip's cast is just like, wow, this is a crazy cast. So you expect some decent quality from a movie that has a cast like that because these actors and actresses understand the industry and the business and they understand that picking their roles is very important. So I am hoping that Amazon and MGM do deliver a very good watchable product because it is
Yeah.
a theatrical release now. It's not
Yeah.
a VOD at home thing that we can watch on a Friday afternoon here in my house. No, I have to go to the theater to watch this. And I'm hoping, as Tex was saying, I hope the visuals do stand out though. I
They
I am
do.
hoping, yeah, I am hoping the cast stands out as well. Honestly, I want the full Monty. I want the whole package here,
Yeah,
because I
you
am gonna go
want a
to the
fun
theater
movie.
to pay for this, you
Yeah,
know?
and you want when he finally says yes, you see it in the trailer where he says I have the power, and that's probably going to be the moment, right? Of the one it sucks that maybe that's the one time he's going to say it in the movie, the whole
I
the
know.
full I
I
have the power,
know.
and because it's like in that kind of moment, as a fan, you should be like, oh, that's the moment that you're hoping gives you chills, like when you're seeing it in the theater,
Yeah,
right?
but
It's like,
honestly, too, if you go back to the '87 version, Dolph Lundgren only says it once in that movie as well. That's
that's
when
great
he
point.
retrieves the
Yeah,
sword back from Skeletor and right before the final battle, right? So again, that moment, as you said though, Tex, to your point, has to be iconic and has to give us goosebumps. Like,
Yeah,
oh, there's He-Man, you
because
know?
that's the thing, right? Like, and just wrapping up this conversation, like there's so many questions about like tone, right? Because it's like what kind of tone is a good He-Man movie? Like, is it silly? Like, because the 80s one was silly and the
Yes.
cartoon is silly, but it's like, yeah, it's action figures hitting each other, right? Like you're just smashing them together, just playing around. So it's
Yes.
like, yeah, it kind of should be silly. And that's the thing, like, is it I hope that's the direction they go. Like, have fun with it, have fun with the fact that yes, this is everyone kind of knows that they're in a He-Man movie, and like
Mhm.
there's just something that's, I think, boiling it down, right? Like that's just what it is. It's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous thing that they're doing.
It's just the name alone is it says everything.
Right.
He-Man, right?
Yeah, it's
He-Man.
Masters of the Universe. So it's like,
Oh,
come on, we
man.
we know, like everyone knows, like, and then they want to do Voltron after this, like they're doing a live action Voltron, and it's like, hey, if this works, we will kind of get a handle of like, oh, how they want to pursue that one,
Yeah.
right? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
that's tough, man. That's gonna be another good conversation when and if ever they drop that teaser, because I know Henry Cavill's in that one, and he's been,
yeah,
you know, parading about, talking about it, very excited about it, and all that stuff. But folks, we will find out in June if
yeah,
Masters of the Universe is a pay for it, away for it, or a complete stay away from it. So stay tuned for that. And once again, thank you so much for listening. This has been The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me always is Mr. Nick Valdez. A big shout out always goes to Delvirus for all the artwork you've seen in front of you throughout the years. And a big shout out goes to you guys for listening. Don't forget, we have all these episodes available on YouTube, and you can also catch them wherever you get your podcasts. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. We would highly appreciate it. And most importantly, please remember it is a scary world out there, folks, but we are here to walk you through it.